Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. What is that? What did you bring?
Today I brought, this was a gift, Gentleman Jack. Just kind of an upgrade of some Jack Daniels, and just absolutely fantastic. Nice and warm, good caramels to it. It's funny. We were talking a while back about how you get that bug, or if you're in wine, it's that aha moment. And I have that a lot with other things too, like craft beer, whiskey. In fact, how I got into exploring the whole craft side of things was traveling. And when I was 17, I went to England.
Okay.
We're bopping around in London. They weren't, I was ordering beer there, and what I found was that there was something different than Budweiser and Coors and this sort of lager style beer. Not that there isn't lots of lager over there, but once I found I had my first pint of bitter, man, it just changed everything. And really, I knew, even at 17, I wasn't going back. I wasn't going back to that whole, oh, hey, let's, down a couple Buds and down a couple Coors, whatever. Not that those aren't fine. It's just that, as I start to explore, those become, kind of a base level in terms of, okay, well, that's what, that's what mass consumption is right now. What are other people doing? What else is out there?
Right. Beer isn't just Budweiser.
Beer isn't just Budweiser. There's lots, and fortunately, we're discovering that now.
Right.
But when I was a kid in my early 20s, it really wasn't there. When I first moved to Sacramento and being like 20 or so, that was a great thing. One of the reasons I got to go to the 1, 2, or maybe even 3 craft breweries that were available to us, the main one being the Rubicon, is they were all still set up as restaurants.
Right.
And so they kind of had a restaurant, what's the right way to put it, tone, and, didn't always ask for IDs.
There you go.
It was great. I think that was really great because, I would walk into these, microbreweries, and I didn't start getting carded until I was about 22.
Really?
And that's just when, they came down a little bit harder on restaurants.
I grew up in Chico, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. I think it's just in the faucets there, right? You don't even have to go to the brewery.
You went next door to see if the college kids still had their keg on tap, right? Because you'd rent out. So, that was kind of the thing. That was kind of a Chico thing.
Yeah, for sure. And, I didn't really grow up in that sort of party town.
Rumors are, and I keep hearing them from some friends of mine, that you're going to do a whiskey tasting.
Yes. So the fine folks over at Zach's Bar and Grill, they are crazy and lovely and amazing. Yeah, and they said, yes, we want to get the wine guy to do a whiskey tasting.
Why not?
And I said, yes, absolutely. And it was kind of funny because, they'd seen some of the other, things that I've done, and they were wondering, hey, do you do things about whiskey? I'm like, yes, I do. I love whiskey. I do focus mostly, most of my podcasts and everything like that on wine.
Right.
But, again, once you get that bug and once you learn, kind of how to taste, and once you start conducting tastings,
there's no reason you can't do it.
No, there isn't. And I've been to a bunch of whiskey tastings also, and I've loved every single one of them. I've learned from every single one of them. So I'm really excited to do one for Zach's Bar and Grill. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to talk about, whiskeys. We're going to talk about bourbons, maybe rye. We're even going to have a local distillery operator there.
Another friend of ours, Gold River Distillery, who you've seen on this podcast before, Greg and the whole gang. And so it's kind of like all my friends in one place.
It's really going to kind of be an amazing day. It's going to be Saturday the 27th of this month. We're going to be tasting quite a few whiskeys, a couple bourbons, like I said, a rye. We're going to be talking about the history of whiskey and how things came about. There's a lot of great things that overlap actually with the wine industry in terms of barrels and things like that. So, and then also I'm going to have my take on it. Yes, we'll be talking a technical breakdown of some of these whiskeys, but we'll also be doing an existential whiskey tasting. So we are going to cross time and space and explore our memories and really kind of see what different whiskeys will bring to us and why they do that. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. We're going to be there hanging out, kind of catching some of the things on video.
And, we'll
probably chit-chatting with Jeremy and going, why did you say that about that whiskey?
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. But one thing that's great, it's on Saturday the 27th. Right. It's from 3 to 5, so it's a really good time. Right. Also, you can stick around. There'll be discounts and everything for dinner later on at Zach's. Okay. They have a pretty good party scene there as well, so I will expect quite a few people from the tasting to stick around for a while and
mingle,
talk about it. And also, and that's another thing that we'll be doing. Certainly, I'll be around afterwards to field any questions and talk about everybody's experience while from the tasting and just their experience with whiskey in general.
Yeah, I think we all have experience with whiskey, and the thing about whiskey and wine is they're basically cousins, right? I mean, really, when you get down to it, right?
I think you can approach it a lot of the same way. Again, there's a lot. I mean, in terms of how whiskey is made compared to how wine is, not so much.
Right.
Yet, how we can approach what whiskey, how we approach wine, it really is. I've been to great whiskey pairings, which have been absolutely fantastic that you wouldn't think you would do with a distilled alcohol, but. As it turns out, it's absolutely fantastic. And also, more than anything else, it's just a lot of fun.
Right. And if you go to Zach's Bar and Grill's Facebook page, I believe there's a link to buy tickets.
There is. I had a link on the worst website on the internet.
And what is that?
It is existentialwineguy.com, but it got trashed. It got affected with some sort of malware.
Oh, no.
I have no I came up yesterday and it just was like, no. Oh, no, they're not a warning. It was just like, oh.
Not good time.
Not a good time. So I'm working on getting that fixed. So you will see some links on my Facebook and my Instagram.
Right.
So you can go ahead and get tickets. I think tickets start at around $35.
I think so.
It's going to be, like I said, a 2-hour affair. There will be amazing whiskeys as well as bourbons, as well as rye, as well as some food. I mean, if you haven't been to Zach's Bar and Grill, because they are relatively new, their food there is amazing.
It is very good.
It's shockingly I think the first time I went there, I wasn't really expecting the quality of food to be as good as it was.
I love their little, their small sirloin.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really
Everything
good.
That I've had there has just been absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And they're a really great bunch. So fortunately, with a few of the restrictions that have been lifted, we're really looking forward to a good time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. And if you're a novice whiskey drinker or a professional, I think this will be a great time for everybody.
I think so, because, yes, we'll be addressing, a technical breakdown of what things you should be smelling, what should be looking for. How to taste whiskey is a very different thing than how to taste wine, by the way. And aside from that, we'll be taking my spin on it as well. And we're really going to look at what this brings to you, everything from past memories to what whiskey can become. I'm really looking forward to this event.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. March 27th, 3 to 5 at Zach's Bar and Grill in Rancho Cordova.
Cordova.
Yeah.
So, and if you have any questions, please reach out either to Zach's or find me on Facebook or Instagram. I'd be glad to answer those questions.
Right, exactly. So it should be fun. If you're new to whiskey, nothing wrong with that. This will be a great learning experience. If you're an old-time whiskey drinker, this will be a lot of fun to talk about some of those great memories with whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so make sure you check it out. And on Facebook and Instagram, where can they find you, Jeremy?
They can find me at Existential Wine Guy on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you really want to look at the worst website that isn't working right now, you can go to existentialwineguy.com and, that'll last you a couple seconds.
Right, exactly. And of course, you can find all the information on our Facebook page, Rex on the Road Media. And we look forward to seeing you there March 27th, 3 to 5. And we're going to do some whiskey tasting with Jeremy.
Cheers.